everybody, this is Amanda Chan, an associate attorney from Finkelstein, Blankenship, Fry Pearson, and Garber. If you can't remember the name of the law firm, that's okay, because we can't remember it either. I'm here with Jeremiah Fry Pearson, who is the founding partner of the firm, one of the founding partners, and he has boasted a long history of representing pizza delivery drivers. How are you today?
Great, Amanda. How are you?
I'm good. I think a lot of pizza delivery drivers who are interested in suing their employers have a lot of questions and concerns before entering into a relationship with an attorney. So with that in mind, I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite pizza topping?
So it depends on the place. I like pepperoni. I'm normally a pepperoni guy, but sometimes you can't go wrong with some sausage. And then here I'm going to go on a limb. Pineapple, delicious. No, not ew. Maybe your palate's not that sophisticated. You throw a little pineapple on there, really good. What about you, Amanda?
Mushrooms all the way.
Oh, no way.
What about vinegar and basil sauce? No, not basil sauce. Balsamic vinegar. Have you ever tried that?
I've had those things, and I can have them like on a marguerite pizza, but I'm not that sophisticated. You give me a good old-fashioned, like, just slice with maybe some pepperoni on it, and I'm good to go. I don't need the vinegar or the fancy stuff. The only fancy thing is the pineapple, which is just correct.
Yeah, well, your choice of pineapple has already deterred so many people from reaching out to this law firm as our clientele, but it's okay.
Anyone who's not interested in pineapple has serious judgment issues. Lie. You can have a weird palate like Amanda, who's a great lawyer despite her weird palate, and still, it's cool. But pineapple is the way to go. Try it. It'll change your world.
How did you get into the field of representing pizza delivery drivers?
So I went to law school to help people who were treated really unfairly. And I remember that I worked as a waiter way back in the day. And actually, we sued the company that I worked for once I became a lawyer as a big nationwide company and recovered millions of dollars for the workers. And with pizza drivers, I know that the law is such that if you pay someone the minimum wage, you've got to fully reimburse them for their costs. And I remember reading online somewhere that pizza drivers just got $1 per delivery, and that was only worked out to about 15 to 20 cents a mile in most instances, and that's less than the cost of driving a car. So I think I wrote a blog about it, how it was unfair, and a gentleman from Florida contacted me. Really, really good guy, and just kind of told me about his experience and the way he was working and what he was getting paid. And I did the math on it, and it sounded like something that wasn't lawful to me. So we put together a class action and recovered millions of dollars for the worker at this particular store, and actually got them to change their policies to reimburse the drivers more. So that was my very first pizza case. It was a lot of fun. And one thing I learned is that most pizza delivery drivers are people who are working to support their families. They're fully grown adults. And so when companies selfishly maximize their profits by paying the people less, it really hurts regular people.
Yeah, I remember one of the stories that really stuck out to me is how people spend the money that they get as a result of these lawsuits. One of our clients bought a car for his daughter to go to college, which was really heartwarming, and it's really great to see your work actually make an improvement in people's lives, which, not all lawyers are lucky to be able to do. But, a lot of people are afraid of losing their job, losing their only source of income when it comes to these types of lawsuits. What type of protections or but what type of protections can people generally expect if they were to sue their employer?
Both the Federal Fair Labor Standard Act, which is the law we normally use, and pretty much every state law has protections from retaliation. We've only had one instance where an employer retaliated. The employer started firing people who participated in our lawsuit. We found out about it.
Wow.
We involved a federal judge. Everyone got their job back and got money. The vast majority of companies are too smart to do that because there's no legal defense for it, and they know we're looking and we'll watch them for like a hawk. And I've probably in my life sued 50 employers, and I've had one that retaliated, and the one time they did, we blew them out of the water. So I know that by suing your employer, people are taking a risk, and I view it as my job to protect you to the fullest if the employer violates the law by attacking you for that.
I think there's like a stereotype of a lot of lawyers out there who are looking to take advantage and get easy settlements, get a quick buck, and aren't actually interested in challenging the status quo and these multi-million, if not billion-dollar corporations. How can you tell the difference between the good lawyers and the bad ones?
So we've talked about this before, and maybe my answer is a little different from yours, Amanda, but I actually think a lot of it is trust. That said, the first thing you should do is Google the lawyer, see what they've done in the past, see where they went to law school, kind of see their reputation, if they've done any similar cases and any good settlements or any good verdicts. But then also, when you talk with them, you should figure out if you want to trust them to represent you, because when we're representing someone, we know that it's a significant economic matter for someone to take on their employers, and it affects their family as well. So to me, it's trust. But what do you think?
I think when you are talking to a new lawyer, that's really your chance to grill them on their results. They're really ask them, what have you done? What results have you gotten? Who have you sued? How did that resolve? And if you like the results that attorney is getting, then that's a good sign that you could work well with them. If they're just being vague and trying to avoid telling you details, that's probably maybe you should look somewhere else. But luckily, our firm has a really great track record in representing minimum wage workers really well, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to work here. But what advice would you give to people who are looking or not assured? Not advice. What? This is not legal advice. What suggestions do you have for people who aren't sure whether or not their employer is paying them correctly?
So for everyone who wonders why Amanda and I were just laughing, we can't give legal advice on this podcast. But my suggestion, if you're worried about how your employer is paying you, you can always reach out to us or to any reputable law firm, and we can help you figure out if there is something wrong, and if there is, how to take care of it. You can also, if you want, just kind of do some investigation. And the things to know is, under federal law and most states' laws, if your net wages have to be above the minimum wage. So, if you get minimum wage, then if you incur expenses, like you drive a car, what they reimburse you should at least equal what your expenses are. And a good rule of thumb is the IRS rate. The IRS rate's the national average cost of driving a car. And one thing I've learned from these cases is delivery drivers, y'all put a lot more strain on your cars than the average person. Myself, I drive my car to work in the morning, and I drive it home at night, and maybe I'll stop at the grocery store or somewhere along the way. That's 3 trips at relatively leisurely pace. Drivers are going, and you all know this, but I actually didn't really know it till I worked on this case. Or maybe I knew it, but I didn't understand it. You all are stopping your car 10, 15, 20, 25 times a day in inclement weather, stop and start traffic, really bad for your starter, carrying items on short notice. And, it's just more expensive for you. So the IRS rates the national average cost of driving a car. That means, your per mile cost should be at least the IRS rate. So if they're paying you $1 and you're making 5 miles per delivery, that's 20 cents a mile. That is not covering the cost. So if you can do the math on the back of your head, that can give you a sense. But you can always reach out to us, and we're happy to help.
Yep, our information, email, and phone number is in the box below, so give us a call anytime. It's been really fun for me to learn all about vehicle expenses, especially since I can't drive and don't plan on getting my license anytime soon. But all pizza delivery drivers, it's your chance. Give us a call. Thank you.
Before Amanda ends this, I want to say Amanda's inability to drive is kind of amusing to me, because she's really, really smart and talented lawyer. When she joined, we did 3 or 4 delivery driver, maybe even 5, 3 to 5 delivery driver cases. We took to verdict. One was a really big one that settled right before, but in her first 6 months. And after those 6 months, I was, ready to have Amanda start taking witness depositions, which we normally don't do. She's really, really, really smart as a lawyer, really talented. So the fact that she can't drive and that we do driver cases is immensely entertaining to me. And I thought I'd close this podcast just letting everyone know. So when you talk to us, you want to ask Amanda about why she can't drive. That's also a fun conversation.
All right. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone.